Talking about drilling here in the state of Ohio for natural gas, even oil. A lot of the focus over the last couple of months we've seen over in the eastern part of the state. But Tom Stewart from the Ohio Oil and Gas Association, you're saying eventually, and we're even starting to see, you said, some of that focus shift to the west. Let's talk more specifically. Penny Seipel also with us. Thank you so much both for being here. Let's talk a little bit as we get into that tap of natural gas and the prices continue to drop. What does that mean for our viewers as far as home heating costs?
More affordable and reliable energy. There's been so much natural gas found here in the United States over the past 10 years, and particularly over the last 5, but particularly the Marcellus in Pennsylvania, that the prices of natural gas have fundamentally cratered and separated away in their traditional relationship with crude oil, which is driving industries like the chemical industry, petrochemicals, all these people that make things out of a feedstock called natural gas to try to want to enter into the United States. What it means for consumers, for Ohioans, is super low natural gas prices for heating purposes that the markets tell us will go on out into the future now for some time.
There are some misconceptions, and we talked about that when we hear again and again, and there were debates back in 2008 with the general election at the time talking about offshore drilling, a lot of that discussion, drill now, and now we're seeing Ohio really, as far as our news cycle is concerned, we're seeing Ohio come to the forefront on natural gas drilling. But does any of this affect what Joe Consumer is seeing, Joe Toledoan, Joe Sylvania guy, as they drive around and see the prices at the pump?
Yes, because again, there's been a surge in crude oil production happening here in the United States, and many of us are hoping that crude oil becomes a factor here in the Utica Shale in the state of Ohio. But in the mid-continent areas, clear up in the Dakotas with the Bakken Shale, there's been so much crude oil found that is coming into the Cushing, Oklahoma, which is the trading point for pricing crude here in the United States, that we have now separated away from the rest of the world. As much as your viewership probably hates the price of crude oil or how that reflects on the price of gasoline, they are still getting their product at a discount when compared to world oil prices, which is a fundamental shift in how we always thought about our relationship on crude. Everybody thought it was a worldwide fungible price, and basically it is, except we have turned a corner in the United States and are now producing more and more crude oil, and that wasn't supposed to happen. But has.
The Ohio Oil and Gas Association, you are basically serving as a trade industry, correct?
We're a trade group representing the oil and gas exploration and production industry.
I just wanted to get that clear for our viewers at home. And Penny, we talked about some of these who are coming into these properties, finding there are deposits. And I put the analogy out there. This is kind of like I guess the geology version of Walmart setting up shop. But you said there's a difference with that analogy.
Absolutely. The difference is that you can actually still utilize your property if there is oil and gas development. If you have a pipeline just running under your property, you still have the ability to farm your fields if you're a farmer. And the pads, after everything is completed, if you actually do have a well on your property, it's about 5 acres. And unlike Walmart, you still have your property, which you're able to still, you don't have to change your entire lifestyle.
How do the rights work? Sometimes when we live in residential neighborhoods and we have places that crews, gas crews, cable crews, electric crews want to come in, they dig up your property. How do the rights work? If somebody comes in and says, I know you have something under your house, I want to get at it, or I know you have something back on your field.
If that is your property, you have the right to enter into a contractual obligation if you would like to see your resources developed.
You don't have to. You can engage with a producer if you want to see your mineral rights develop, or you can choose not to. What happens is a landowner who has a farm may know that he has good possibilities, but knows he has neither the capital nor the expertise to get to those mineral rights. So how do you solve that problem? You go to an oil and gas producer, or an oil and gas producer comes to you and says, I have the capital and I have the expertise. I will go and develop your rights for you in return and to give you a royalty stream from that. In return, I will pay all the costs to get that done.
We've got a couple minutes left. I wanted to talk quickly about how I said going into the break, some of the schools around the state of Ohio, universities, even high schools, are embracing the technology and trying to get students ready for these careers.
That's because jobs are important. And people are understanding that there's a huge job opportunity in this emerging industry called the Utica Shale development. So it's accurate that in high schools, people are looking.
We're showing just a few of the schools, but you said there are many more.
They're trying to train their people from skills like trades such as welding or trucking or environmental sciences or any of these things. Eastern Gateway over in Steubenville has become a leader in trying to guide people into job careers in oil and gas development. COTC in Newark, Central Ohio Technical College in affiliation with OSU, has become a leader in trying to guide people into new economic opportunity. We have to train these people. This is a very technical industry, and it's hard work. So people need to get trained to do that. But even if you're just a truck driver, and you pass all the tests necessary to drive a truck safely, you have great opportunities. Welders. We can't find enough welders.
We've got about 45 seconds left. As we get closer to the general election, how does politics play into all of this as we move forward?
I think every elected official just wants to make sure that Ohio has as many opportunities economically and as we can, and to continue to develop those.
Even on a national level?
Oh, absolutely. I think the United States is seeing that we have great opportunity here to separate away from our dependency, and that we need to do that. And as much as we are doing that, we also create economic opportunity for Americans. Everybody's excited about that, except people who just don't want to see oil and gas developed. And there's a crowd like that.
Yeah. Okay, Tom and Penny, I'm going to let that be the last word. Thank you both for making the trip up here to the Roundtable today. And we'll be back and wrap things up right after this. By the way, if you want to learn more, you can go to ooga.org and read more about the Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Stay right there. We'll wrap it up right after this.